This is Sopranos Season 6, Episode 18, Kennedy and Heidi. This is the Death of Christopher episode, which in a lot of ways was a long time coming from a mafioso standpoint, but it's also tragic where basically the whole car crash, and of course Tony, being the lucky guy that he is, kind of gets away unscathed. And Tony really killing Christopher and taking his nose, which is like a trademark of Christopher, and squeezing his nose and killing Christopher, even though in a way he could have Christopher could have survived this crash, but Tony kind of killing Christopher. And then Tony having guilt, which is interesting, of guilt because everybody else is so saddened by Christopher's death, where Tony's kind of relieved and happy about Christopher's death, and Tony kind of dealing with his happiness for Christopher. And then the last 25 minutes of the season becomes only an A plot where Christopher goes to Vegas and sleeps with his old former girlfriend, and he takes peyote, and kind of in the end he's in the desert and goes, yeah, that's what and it's he kind of figures it out that basically Christopher was his bad luck. Christopher was always his major conflict. Everything Christopher did was an eventual flaw to Tony's kind of life and what he was going to do with in his business world and his professional world as well. Christopher did a lot of things that Tony stuck up for him, and finally Christopher being gone, it makes Tony free in a lot of ways. Where this is the death episode where most of the guys like Tony B and of course Pussy dying, or even Gloria dying, where it's he is kind of very saddened by it, and it's very tragic in his own way, where Christopher, and a kind of interesting storytelling twist where Tony is happy that he doesn't have to be a mentor to this kid anymore, and it's almost like a freedom of a lot of ways, where it's you hear these stories where, I'm not a parent, but you hear stories where basically there's so much stress with these kids that parents kind of wish that the kid were the kid was never alive, especially addicts or something like that, where the kid is just an addict and they keep getting into trouble, and it's if they just go away, it's less stress for the parent. And of course they can't say that outwardly, but a lot of them feel that inside, and this is what this episode is about. It's about the mentors kind of being relieved of their duties in a lot of ways, and Tony being relieved of the duty of Christopher. And Christopher's death is a good thing for Tony. And that's my review.